Hey guys, welcome to Neat Movie News. My name is Dean Thomas.
His name is Dean. We like Dean.
And it is almost 2017. 2016 is really wrapping up. So, as I've been doing, I've been putting together a couple lists of my top insert movie genre here lists. And I've already got my top 5 horror movie list up. You can check that out on the channel right now. And the list right here is going to be my top 5 animated movies of this past year, of 2016. We got quite a few good ones. I think my list is probably going to differ from most people's because I got some probably controversial ones, maybe a little bit, maybe not. Depends on how you saw all these movies. But I'm going to count down my top 5 favorite animated movies of 2016. Let's kick it off right away. Let's get into my number 5, which is probably the one that's going to be a little low for most people, and that is Zootopia.
Zootopia, a gleaming city where animals of all breeds, predator and prey alike, live together in peace and harmony.
Hi, I'm Judy, your new neighbor.
Yeah? Well, we're loud.
Don't expect us to apologize for it.
Came out really, really early this year. You know, it's kind of, this movie really is playing on certain, racial stereotypes, some prejudices, that sort of stuff. And while so many people seem to love this movie, I thought it was just okay. I was like, okay, it was a serviceable movie. I did enjoy it. I think the message the movie was trying to send was a good one. I didn't love how they told it though. To me, it was just hitting you over the head with these things so often, and I also didn't like it because when you look, what you should be teaching kids is that race really is there's no actual biological difference with it at all. Your skin is either this color or it's that color or it's this other color, anything like that. But there's really no true difference. Where I thought Zootopia really made it seem like there was. They really told you biologically, in this case, the predators and the prey were indeed biologically different. And I didn't really love that part of the message because that seems like the wrong kind of message to send. And then overall, I thought the story was serviceable. I thought it was a little paint by numbers. Like I said, I think the message in there was a good message. I didn't love how they went about trying to convey that message. I mean, this movie had some very unique things, the way it handled those racial sort of ideas and stereotypes, the way it created the world of Zootopia. That was very interesting and fun to explore these little areas where these sort of animals hang out and these sort of animals hang out. So that was fun. It's got a really good song in it. It's probably got a good chance of getting nominated for an Oscar for, Best Original Song. I would be actually very surprised if it wasn't nominated for it. But for me, Zootopia was a good and fun enough movie, but I didn't love it as much as a lot of other people did, so that's why it comes in at my number 5. And coming in at number 4 is a movie that I think probably got lost a little bit this year in the talk of all the animated movies because it came out way back in January, and that is Kung Fu Panda 3.
Kai attacked the valley. It's all gone. Now he's coming for the pandas. You must teach them to fight.
I am ready.
The Kung Fu Panda series has been so much fun. The first one is great. The second one's got some really cool stuff going for it, and it works very well as a sequel. It's not one of those animated sequels that went way downhill. No, it's still very much a respectable sequel in the franchise. And number 3 is the exact same thing. This time you're following Po as he kind of rediscovers who he really is. He finds his true family. He finds that he's not really the only panda left in the world, and you kind of get to see all that. The story moves forward with him and the other warriors and all that he deals with, his little team, who, once again, they just feel so natural from the first movie, the second movie, the third movie. There's this natural progression that you just like these characters, and this movie is just so much fun. The animation's always really cool. The like stunt and fight choreography is like pretty incredible, especially for an animated movie. How much time that must take for them to put that together, but it's always really fun to watch. It's always got that great sense of humor. Well, I'm not the biggest Jack Black fan at all times. He works really well as Poe in the voice. And J.K. Simmons as the bad guy in this is really great. He's actually pretty intimidating. His little green knife blade things are really cool. Visually, it's cool. And it added a new kind of supernatural, that's probably not the way, kind of this mystical, spiritual sort of side of the movie that we hadn't quite seen yet. And it was just really fun to watch. And I believe it's still on Netflix, along actually with my number 5 Zootopia as well. So if you haven't seen a couple of these movies, I highly recommend you go and check them out because they are a lot of fun to watch. So that is why Kung Fu Panda comes in at my number 4. Coming at number 3 is a movie that's probably got a very good chance. Well, they probably will actually guaranteed get nominated for an Oscar for Best Animated Movie this year, and that would be Kubo and the Two Strings.
If you must blink, do it now. Pay careful attention to everything you see. No matter how unusual it may seem. If you look away, even for an instant, then our hero will surely perish.
This movie is definitely the most original, I would say, original sort of movie that came out. It comes from Leica Studios, so it's kind of that stop motion claymation. I'm not sure which is the correct term, to be honest with you. And visually, it is really, really cool. The things they do, the way they use paper and these colors. It follows this young kid Kubo, whose mother is killed, really, and it's kind of him trying to hide from his evil grandfather, trying to figure out who he is, collect this magical armor that his father had left him. And it's just a really visually stunning movie. The story is completely unique with very unique characters, and it's unlike anything you would ever really have seen. Now, for me, it felt a little flat here and there, and I think that might have to do with the animation, because it's just, you can do just about anything, but for whatever reason, to me, in the music, sometimes it just felt a little flat to me. And to be completely honest with you, I respect this style of animation so much, because how much time and work goes into it. But because of that, I get distracted watching it. I can't really focus on what's going on screen as far as the story goes. I kept watching all the little details, and I get amazed. Wow, they literally moved those small tiny things to add those kind of details, and then I get distracted from actually watching the movie. So it's completely a personal thing for me, but this is a personal list. So that's why I couldn't get Kubo up any higher than number 3. It's incredibly original, unique. I wish more people had seen it. But there were some scenes that felt a little flat to me. And the animation, just for me, kind of almost becomes a distraction. And that's just on me. But that's why it comes in at my number 3. Coming in at number 2 was a movie that really returned me to my childhood. And that was Finding Dory.
I suffer from short-term memory loss. It runs in my family. At least I think it does. Where are they?
Dory, there you are!
Guys!
Look out!
Oh, look at this.
Our friend got taken into whatever this place is.
It's a fish hospital.
I feel fantastic.
Dude.
I didn't expect a whole lot of going into this movie at first, hearing about it, because they're probably just going to rehash Finding Nemo. And then a couple trailers came out. You're like, no, they're actually doing something a lot different. And Ellen DeGeneres as Dory is maybe the best voice casting there's ever been. She fits that character so well. The character is just so much fun, and just to go back into that world with Dory and Nemo and all the other characters, and then to meet so many new ones. Bailey, the dolphin creature, one of the funniest moments in that movie. It has one of the funniest moments in that movie. There's so many laughs. They're so heartfelt. The scene, I saw this movie twice in theaters, and the very opening of this movie with Baby Dory made me tear up and probably shed that single tear both times. It just got to me watching little Baby Dory get lost. It's just heartbreaking. And like I said, this movie just brings me back to my childhood of watching Finding Nemo all the time when I was this little kid. And it was just so great to get back into that world. There's definitely some similarities to the first one, as there's going to be. But it still felt incredibly original, and they did some new things that was just really funny. Gerald is all I'll say, and it was when he showed up on screen, one of my friends just lost it, and that was the funniest thing. So that's why Finding Dory comes in at number 2 for me. And coming in at number 1 was a movie I had high hopes for. Didn't expect it to be that as great as it was, and that is Moana.
Moana! I got your back.
It's Maui time.
I'm not normally the biggest Disney princess, musical sort of movie fan. I haven't even seen a lot of the original ones, but this movie just worked for me. And I think it's because Moana realized exactly what it was and was very aware of what it was, and would even point those things out. They mentioned about, well, you're a girl with an animal sidekick. You're basically, the typical Disney sort of thing. And they would even point sort of things that out. But what I loved about this movie is it did change it, because Moana is not a princess. She's not just a generic white girl, and this movie represents a culture with that kind of Hawaiian. It's not actually Hawaiian in the movie, but that's basically what it's going for. And it's a culture that's not represented very much or very well. And it was really, really cool to see them put that on the forefront, really go full force with it, with the music. The characters all have their tattoos, their spirituality that's put in the movie. It's all just, it was really nice to see that. The Rock as Maui is just so much fun. There's so much humor with it. The visuals are incredible. That tropical, there's the greens, the blues of the ocean, the reds of the lava. It was just so cool to look at. And I'm going to do my best to say her name. And I believe this is about as close as I can get. But Auli'i Cravalho, who plays Moana, who has an incredible singing voice. Because like I said, I'm not a musical person. But the songs in this movie are so great. Now, it's probably because they were written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So the guy has got some major talent. All the songs are so much fun. They fit the story so well. They fit the culture and the setting of the movie so well. But Moana, when she sings How Far I'll Go, I have listened to so many times. It's such a fantastic song that's so catchy. Her voice is incredible when she sings it. It just fits the movie so well. And I just absolutely loved Moana. So it is definitely my #1 animated movie of 2016. Alright, there you guys have it. That is my list of my top 5 favorite animated movies of the year. I would love to hear your guys' list in the comments below. Let me know. Or on Twitter. You can always tweet at me there. So make sure you're following me at Neat Movie News on Twitter for all the latest in the world of movies. And that way you can tell me your list as well. So once again, my top 5 movies. You got Zootopia at 5, Kung Fu Panda 3 at 4, Kubo and the Two Strings at 3, Finding Dory at 2, and Moana at #1. So there you guys have it. That is my list. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will